Mike is going to basically go through the ideas with us of how we would reconfigure the Coyote Pass property. I don't like the lot arrangement currently. We've basically got 4 lots and they're not quite in the position we really want them. And so I want to make 5 lots. I'm keeping one for me. I'm not going to have the 4 wives owning that 5th lot when I don't even own one. So I'm just going to have the 5th lot. It's that simple. I've had a couple of ideas for what works right now and what works in the future. And I haven't really discussed this with my wives necessarily.
Gotcha.
The last time that we discussed lots here on the property, it was not a great discussion.
Cody told me where you guys were all going to be, and I was going to be back there.
Oh, he told
You said
me
you
you
didn't like
want
it,
that.
so
Quit
sorry.
making up crap
did.
of what I say.
It's a delicate dance. And Cody's not delicate. Mary doesn't want to be back here.
Which
She said
he
Christine was
relayed
here.
the conversation wrong, FYI.
Can I talk for a second?
Sure, go
please.
for it.
It looks like we're like fighting with each other, or felt like it, and that we weren't really. Anyway, it's just funny.
I'm just going to number these. This will be 1. This location will be 2. We'll have 3, 4, and 5 total lots. The lot that would have the pond would most likely be my lot for full access for family. That can be done.
That can easily be done.
This is a brand new configuration that I've ever heard Cody talk about. When we talked last about this property, we were talking about 4 different lots.
If you are all going to own your own house, why shouldn't I own my own house?
This whole thing that Cody's talking about is a surprise to me. But I think Cody having his own house is silly. But I do think that having a 5th home for us to all to gather at is amazing. Does that make sense?
Like, honestly, I love my independence. And when Cody's there for like more than 3 or 4 days at my house, I'm like, you want to go somewhere?
I think it's stupid, Cody talking about having his own house. I guess he's going to use it for like family gatherings. I'm like, what a waste of money.
You guys all good with that so far?
I guess it really depends on where everybody wants to be.
I have some real concerns about the pond. I always have. I don't think it should be on anybody's property.
I just don't understand why the pond is a conversation, because we're all family. We would all have access to it, wouldn't
We will always have access. Everybody, if this lot got sold to somebody else, the lot with the pond, you would still have access to the pond.
It sounds like Cody wants the pond, or Janelle wants Cody to have the pond, or somebody wants Cody to have the pond. I am just confused of why the pond is such a topic of conversation. I'm like, I don't care, have the pond property. I'm not gonna go swim in it, probably, because ew.
I mean, I think I've been pretty vocal about that I want to have greenhouses and I want to have, I mean, how do we agree on that?
I've got, for the sake of the greenhouse and Janelle being near the greenhouse and near the growing area, I was going to have Janelle basically right along that edge there. I want to move forward. I want to be able to put a visual on it. Now, Robin has always made it clear she doesn't want to be in the trees at all. And so I would put her on the farthest lot, number 5. Christine and Mary, both of them, you know, whether they're in the trees or out of the trees, we'll give them the option by putting them in lots 2 and 3. And I take lot 1 because that's the lot that has the pond, and everybody wants access to the pond, and thus they'd all have access to the pond because it'll be my property.
The conversations that I've heard about where houses want to be, this doesn't allow for the houses that some people want some places.
It's the only configuration I can manage to go, this works.
I like where Mary's going with this. I think when she's saying some people, she means me. I'm just saying. This is the first time I'm hearing about it, and I have to digest it because this changes everything already.
I think it's really important as women that we have each other's backs, and I think there's a lot of times that we don't. Like, there's a lot that I don't know about Christine, but I do know that she has said that she wanted this property.
So initially, I was loving the idea of a house right there, but it sounds like that's not happening anymore. Correct?
That's what I was saying. I don't think that from the conversations that I've heard, that this doesn't allow for people to have a house where they wanted it.
Janelle has loved gardening all of her life. Her and I have always talked about the idea of greenhouses. She's got to be able to have access to water. She's got to have access to the grow houses. I think we worked that out really easily by basically having those grow houses on her lot.
That doesn't allow for
right?
that.
Because initially I talked about right there, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore, is it? This is just the first I've heard of this.
So apparently, there is no me in polygamy. What? Did I say that out loud? Basically, we really all have to work together, and I just can't be looking out for myself only, and I'm trying really hard to be an adult. Huh? Polygamy?
It's just more about having the space so I don't have to walk 10,000 feet all the time to, you know, the greenhouses or whatever I have. So I want to be really, really careful here because yes, the ideal place is right where Christine had wanted to build her house. I could be anywhere. I could be close to the road even.
Would you want to have to walk from here to the garden all the time when you're wanting to inspect
Cody,
it?
I don't know if that's where the garden's going to go.
That is where it's going to go.
Oh, okay. Well,
At this point, I'm like, why does it matter so much where the greenhouse goes? Why doesn't it matter where we want to build our houses?
Mike, is there a better way in your head to subdivide this for the 5 lots than I've shown?
From what I hear from all of you, well, I should say from what I hear from Cody, I mean, kind of what, I think that's the best way to do it. I really do.
I wonder if Cody already had the conversation with Mike and told him how he wanted the property to be laid out and said, hey, Mike, is this a good way? And Mike is like, yes, it is a good way. And then Cody's like, okay, Mike, can you then help sell it to my wives? Because I think this is best. And so can you help me? Because, dude, I need a man backing me because these women, I'm telling you.
I honestly have never thought about being in the trees. I just assumed everybody would want to be in the trees, so I just ignored the trees. I don't want to even commit to anything
I'm not committing
until I
anything
walk
right
to
now.
walk it, because
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just want some power over the decision or something. That,
Yeah, this is all just new. I've
That's
never
good to
thought
know.
about anything different
Yeah,
than
it's
that.
just a
The-
conversation.
If we can walk it, that'd be like my favorite thing in the world, because I've been standing here for a really long time.
I'm losing my patience with how they're behaving here because I don't really care. I just want to get it divided.
I want to make sure that we're just walking the properties, we're going to look at them. And then we need to sit down offline from this conversation and decide what name. So I know you're going to be like, oh, this is going to be really great, Mary. Don't you want to build here? Like, let's just walk them, huh? Like, you think?
Okay.
I appreciate what Mary's doing. I'm just over the conversation. I'm having a hard time holding it all in anyway, and we need to start walking. I'm going to start crying. That's what's going to happen here. If I express myself, I'm just going to cry.